didn't. Didn't you?
That's what CO2 does.
Okay, so carbon dioxide is a primary greenhouse gas which is emitted through the human activities, specifically the combustion of fossil fuels, as we already know. It's naturally present in the atmosphere as part of the carbon cycle, which is the release and uptake of carbon between the atmosphere, oceans, plants, and animals, and soil. The increased levels of CO2 is altering the carbon cycle, and that's through, well, the addition of carbon dioxide. And that's influencing the ability of natural sources such as oceans, forests, to remove the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This is the graph there. It's the hockey stick model. And it just shows the correlation between times in the past, well, 1,000 years, and the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. You can see, like here, there's already some fluctuations in the carbon dioxide levels, but that's just been put down to natural fluctuations. However, we can see here from the 19th century there's been a rapid increase in carbon dioxide levels, and that was sort of from the Industrial Revolution, which has sort of proved the theory that humans have an influence on the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. The data was collected from tree rings, ice cores and corals in order to find out what the carbon dioxide levels were like. And then they were analysed in order to get the data for this graph. Already talked about the Industrial Revolution. The rapid population increase as well around this time also had a huge influence due to the high demand of resources, energy, for example. And also, it also caused, there was rapid rates of deforestation, which was needed for building materials, because obviously demand was increasing, as well as population. So, the proposed idea was oceans. Oceans are a natural sink for carbon dioxide, and therefore absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So the ocean tubes have been a proposed solution by someone called James. James Lovelock, who's a British scientist, along with someone called Chris Rapley, who's a space physicist. And they wanted to use the fact that oceans as a natural sink, they wanted to use this to their advantage by coming up with these ocean tubes. So these tubes basically sit within the ocean, and they stimulate the growth of phytoplankton and algae on the surface of the oceans. And they do this by water circulates up them from the deep depths of the ocean, bringing carbon dioxide rich water and nutrient rich water to the surface. Dimethyl sulfide is produced, which encourages the formation of clouds, which acts as a cooling effect within the Earth because they reflect the solar radiation. the good thing, the good advantage about this is the fact that they wouldn't require any outside energy. They just have to sit there, and the waves of the ocean cause them to move within the ocean, which then stimulates this movement of water up through them to the top of the ocean, where they sit on the surface, allowing the algae to thrive using the oxygen, carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Makes any sense whatsoever.
So it's the algae that then absorbs the CO2?
Yeah, so, because there's loads of it at the bottom, but the algae at the top is getting eaten by stuff. So, I don't know what stuff. So they're trying to encourage the growth of algae at the top of the surface of the oceans.
Right.
So then they use more CO2 from the atmosphere. The tubes contain valves throughout them to stop water circulating down through them, only allowing cool water to move upwards. There's quite a few advantages to this. They think that 10-foot waves can cool an entire 1.5 square mile area by ½ degree in just a month. Also, the phytoplankton would increase, which would also cause the drawdown of around 776 kilograms of carbon dioxide. Beyond the effects of the global temperature, the cooler ocean surface would also help to alleviate hurricane intensity. This also, the result of the cooler oceans has also been shown to decrease the amount of wind being caused during storms. By 15%, which has decreased the storm damages by 40%. But these tubes are still within initial testing phases because, they have loads of disadvantages. Well, the intention is for the algae to take up the CO2 and carry it to the bottom of the ocean during, as they die. Another option is for the carbon dioxide to sink to the bottom of the ocean as fecal matter after marine animals have consumed the algae. But quite often the carbon dioxide is released back into the atmosphere after the algae has been consumed, and simply through respiration. So the initial idea doesn't always work. The oceans already store a lot of carbon dioxide, and there's only so much it can hold. So, as the water's being pumped from the bottom of the ocean through these tubes, the issue is that they're also pumping carbon dioxide, which is held at the bottom of the oceans to the top, which is then being released into the atmosphere, which is actually contributing to global warming instead of helping to solve it.
Not so good.
Not so good at all. Doing this by allowing the oceans to store more carbon dioxide will have a negative impact on marine life because the oceans will become more acidic. Dead zones. These are when the outbreak of algae which is caused to grow or encouraged to grow on the surface of these oceans, could become uncontrollable, and therefore using more oxygen within the surrounding oceans, which will cause dead zones and areas where marine life won't be able to thrive due to the lack of oxygen, which is caused by the abundance of this algae. Oh, that's it. And that's it.